Okay, it's going in English also. Okay, Shambhavi, what's the question?
My question is, why is it a different experience to see the deities on an altar, to be with them there, than to see them from the temple room or to see small deities? Like, why does it feel different?
Different ecstasy. You're on the altar when we dressed them, or when we actually did Abhishek?
Abhishek.
Well, that's very special. That really it has to do with proximity to Krishna, how close you're coming to Krishna, and there are different types of closeness, but ultimately it's really pointing to the same thing. So it's a fact, devotees, when they're having kirtan in the temple room, or just standing there watching the deities, it's a different experience than when they're only, when they go into the deity room and they're doing some service, so doing arti, or, well, if they get to dress the deities, but everyone doesn't have to dress the deities. Arti is quite an easy thing to do. They'll feel a difference the closer they are to Krishna, because the deities are resonating, generating a certain type of energy, spiritual energy, which is they're reciprocating with the overall bhakti of the devotees who serve them. So there's a lot of service, a lot more service goes into the worship, or devotion goes into the worship of temple deities than there are home deities. Like, for instance, here we have Radha Damodar. They get more, they get dressed twice a day, they get more offerings, they get more artiks, they have a lot more devotees coming to see them. So, Jejitamam Prapadyanti, Krishna reciprocates according to our devotion. And therefore, there will be difference between this deity and that deity based on the devotion of devotees. And in New Brajadam, the pujaris, the head pujari, they're really extremely devotional. There's no paid people here. There's no cutback on the worship. So devotees will feel that distance, proximity to Krishna. It's just like, it's different, obviously, when you would see Krishna and when you don't see Krishna, isn't it? Say something, yes, so people can hear that you're here. She said yes. Yeah, we would love to see Krishna, and when you see Krishna, automatically you get all of everything in the heart gets removed, gets cleansed, and you're blessed with prema. So seeing and not seeing are also a distance. It's a proximity to Krishna. When you see Krishna, then you're close to him. Similarly, the close in terms of the type of devotion that they have. The Krishna's servants dress him, but they have a different feeling than when the cowherd boys dress him, and his friends dress him. Of course, they're also cowherd boys. And when the gopis dress him, then they have an even more intense feeling, because number one, the nature of their love and the intensity of their love means that there's more of a reciprocation. Devotees who, regularly do some sort of deity worship, they will feel different than someone who doesn't do deity worship, just because their appreciation for Krishna is more, and therefore naturally Krishna will reciprocate. So proximity, Gyanis, yogis, Jnana vastina mansa pashyanti jan yogina. The yogis seek Krishna in their hearts, but they don't have the same appreciation for Krishna as when Krishna appears before their senses or their eyes. Their method of worship is not as close as the process of pure bhakti, although they have some kind of bhakti. The Gyanis, they then within their minds, they imagine Krishna and meditate on Krishna. They have an intellectual approach, but neither the meditation nor the intellect can really approach serving Krishna with devotion with one's senses, chanting Hare Krishna like that. So that's another type of distance, and the closer you come in devotion, then the closer you get. And then, of course, that was like a real special event, which means that the deities they really like that. So just for the viewers, it was twice a year we bathe the deities. We do an abhishek behind the curtains, and Shyam Gauri got to see that. So it's anyone who participates or sees, it's such an extraordinary experience, really wonderful. And therefore Krishna likes that, Radha Shyam like that, and then they really give a special feeling. So yes, distances are an interesting thing. How we come actually close to Krishna, proximity to Krishna. But we should learn to appreciate that ultimately with our devotion, and if our love is there, then whatever distance we may be, we will definitely appreciate Krishna. But still, when we come close, it will be different, because that distance also means vipralamba, it means separation. So, although the gopis or the Brijbasis, they experience a more intense feeling when they're separated from Krishna, but still they don't like that. They want the feeling, which is not as intense, of being with Krishna. Because being with Krishna is different, even if it's not as extraordinary as being separated from Krishna. So proximity to Krishna counts, and that's why all devotees should get on the altar, and Brahminical initiated devotees, and do deity worship.